Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 96.
96.
How you doing, man?
Life's crazy right now, man. Right?
It totally is.
Week 6 for me. Staying at home for work. You're week 5, I think, based on what you said last week.
Yeah, five-ish, something. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know anymore.
So at the beginning of this, quarantine, you're like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." How you feeling now? Having the whole family at home, kids.
It's still cool.
Okay.
Well, it sucks that this is the circumstances, and it sucks not being able to go places and do stuff. Like,
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get out and go to the movies or something.
Sure.
But all in all, man, like, my family is awesome, so I actually don't mind it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a good time. Like I still get outside. We went walking today for about an hour, just because I had been in the house forever, and I was like, I got to get outside. It's super nice. I'm sure it's nice in KC, hopefully.
Yeah.
But St. Louis is like baller today. So we went out and walked around for a little bit, and that's kind of like my break, and my fresh air. That's I say it's my break. It's my break from like video games and TV and like, just the horrible
being a piece of shit.
The way I treat my body. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, true.
but it's been good. I've been dieting this. I started dieting 6 weeks ago too, and so like this is actually, I think it's kind of helped it because it's kind of got me in this funk where I'm at home. Like I'm down like almost 25 pounds, which is fucking crazy. And so you mix all this stuff in, and it's just like, food habits changed, going to work changed, sleep habits have changed. So it just feels weird, man. Like it's just not normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, craziness.
I like me not having a trip. Like I can't plan a trip right now. And so like that's definitely affected me. Like, because I get stir crazy a little bit. Plus, like I kind of need going to work. Like when I worked from home, I was probably like the worst shape I've ever been in. Like that year and a half or so that I worked from home. I just like need that regimen of like going to work and then I'll go take a lunch, go to work out. Whereas if I'm at home, I literally like go program and I'm like, oh shit, it's 7 fucking o'clock. Right.
Right.
I just totally lose track of time. So.
Yeah, and the thing is, to me, it's like now it's like, well, I know I don't have to get up at 7 anymore to get ready to go to work. It's like I can just come to work in my underwear. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll literally roll out of bed and like, come turn my PC on. And so I'm staying up later. I'm sleeping less. I'm like, I'm like, oh, I can stop work at 5. I don't have to drive home or any of that. And I can just, crash on the couch for an hour or whatever. And so like my sleep schedule is just jacked. It's totally messed. And I got to get that fixed. But yeah, man, I think it's depressing a little bit though. For some reason, like mentally at times, I kind of feel like, I don't know. Like I don't think depressed. I don't know what it is. It's just weird. It's like different. It's like getting outside really helped. It's really like, okay, I feel a lot better now that I got out and went and walked around. Yeah. Are you doing that? You going outside and walking?
It's super rare. Yeah.
I'm avoiding. I mean, try it more. It helps me, I guess. I just avoid people. Like when we're walking, if I see somebody, I'm just like, look, I don't know you, dude.
Right.
There was like a block right behind my house is this old people neighborhood, and it's like a condo community of that all old people live there. I don't know if it's like you have to be old to buy one, but that's what it is.
Sure.
And so it's always quiet and stuff. And like somebody was down there having a birthday party today, which was really weird. And they had like 20 people or so standing in their driveway, like with balloons. And I'm just like, oh, fuck that. Not going that way. I'm just like,
call the cops. Social distancing.
What are you guys doing? So, but yeah, man. And then I burned the shit out of my arm. I spilled some hot water. I was like cooking and I was boiling water and I was like draining it in the sink. And like I started to slip and lose the strainer. And so I like instinct was to catch it, right? But when I caught it, I like jerked a little bit. And so like this boiling water splashed out of the pan on my arm. And so my arm is just like got this fucking huge like burn size, like that big, like all in my arm. I'm like waiting for this shit to bubble up. But it's right where you rest your arm.
On the armrest?
Like on your desk to type. So it's like I feel it when I'm playing games and shit. So. Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about
Good
game stuff. What do you think?
Yeah.
So last week,
Good
I know you guys love it when we don't ask a poll that has anything to do with Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
You guys let me know every time in the comment section on YouTube, so I appreciate you guys. But we asked, did you like the Final Fantasy VII remake? And so you finally finished it this last week, Casual.
Yeah. Took me, I played 44 hours and I finished it on Sunday, I think. Was it Sunday? I don't even remember. Yeah, it took me like 4 days.
I think it was like
craziness.
Wednesday.
5 days. We got it Friday.
Yeah.
I guess technically Thursday at 11. And then I finished it. Maybe it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. But it was crazy hours. I didn't play it all Sunday either. I guess maybe that's why it feels so compact to me, because I skipped Sunday because I wanted to stream it all because there were people that were interested in watching. So, yeah, I liked it, man. It was great. It was good times.
You're so wrong.
You're on this negative Nancy island all by yourself, dude.
I probably am.
I don't even want to
see these results because I know I'm in the minority. I have to be in the minority. I'm curious if anyone even voted no. Actually, at this point.
That's the truth. It doesn't have a lot of votes.
All right, so I'm voting. It's not that bad. 66% of the vote says no.
Are you view botting the polls?
what does a view bot for a poll do?
Your
you mean a vote bot?
You're vote botting the polls.
God damn.
Oh man,
my people.
Yeah, that's just people saying like I don't care. That's what it is. We needed I didn't play it option.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, I had a good time. We'll talk about that at the end if we have time in the podcast, because you and I, we both finished it. We both had topics, and there's some things I agree on about that I don't know. We'll see, man. It depends on the other games. Like the next game.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Your gameplay experience for this Final Fantasy VII is not contingent upon the other games.
Yeah, my experience for this game was a good experience, except for the fact that the story is left like, what the fuck's gonna happen?
Okay.
What is this?
All right. But yeah, and so then the question we asked for this week, because it came out of the left field, and we'll talk about it in just a second, but did the double goblin buff reinvigorate Season 20 for you?
Just a double goblin buff?
Yes, sir.
I'm just joking, but it did come out of nowhere.
It really,
why?
Yeah.
And they did something else too. They also extended the 100% EXP bonus until the next expansion on World of Warcraft. And both of those hit at the same time. And I want to say they did something for Overwatch. Overwatch Hero dropped at the same time, a new hero for Overwatch. And did they do anything for Hearthstone? I think Hearthstone might have had something too, but I'm not 100% on that. So it's almost like they were like, shit, we need to like get players back. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I feel. I mean, maybe this was just planned the whole time. And
do you think we need to get players back, or do you think it was like, oh, we know that everyone's staying home, so let's like do things to entertain?
Could have been both. Yeah,
okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, back would feel. I don't know population numbers. I know that I haven't, at least in my community, Diablo and WoW are like topics that are constantly like always kind of talked about. And I haven't heard anything about WoW lately. And then Diablo talks. It's 5 weeks, 6 weeks in the season, so it's starting to die down pretty fast.
Right on. But yeah, so
yeah, I think
this community manager, quote, Sidra, okay, posts, for the rest of season 20, treasure goblin spawns are doubled. And so this lasts for the rest of the season, which is, I thought when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this like must be a weekend thing. They're bringing the weekend things back, which, you and I have been like, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to bring the weekend things back. It's whatever. But that's what I immediately thought. But then it's like, oh, it's the rest of the season. They're just like giving us season 1? Or not season 1, but the first theme season.
It was season. whatever. Yeah, it was season 1 for real.
Yeah.
That's what we can say. Season 1 of the season themes,
Right.
whatever that was.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So,
and
yeah.
Something that was curious to me. I don't know if you thought about this. I tried to check Sydra's post history.
Yeah,
to see.
That's exactly where I was going.
Okay,
so
go ahead then.
I immediately was like, how can I find out more? Because at first, I don't even think it said community manager here. I think it was just Sydra, but now it does, and it says it was added March 27th, but there's no year.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. So that makes me think that it was this year.
Yeah.
At the very least. But you can see like Nebulis is still on here.
That was a month ago. That was like the time that she.
But then Cheetah, who's like an MVP, it's all over the forums. She actually does like really good job. She said Sydra is a CM for other Blizzard games. They're filling in for right now, so it may not be appropriate to do a welcome post for a temp position. So that's why everyone's like, is this the new CM? Like, there's no intro, just like a treasure goblin drop. But I guess Sydra is not the new CM. But they could become the CM, but it's still like, I guess, unknown.
It's interesting, man. Yeah. It's just more in the dark. Like, they were so good. Like, I thought they understood. I thought that they were with us finally. Yeah. It seemed like after last BlizzCon, they were like giving us all that news and they're talking about Diablo 3 and all this shit. Now it's just like crickets.
Yeah, we're quarter 2 and there's nothing for Diablo 4 right now. Like,
but didn't they do, wasn't the last one quarter 2? Wasn't it like the first couple days in quarter 2?
No. It was the end of quarter 1. And they said in that post, like, it's not going to be just like once per quarter. It's going to be like some things throughout the quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be once every other quarter.
But we're in quarter 2, we haven't got anything.
It's not once per quarter. It's once every other quarter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Relax. I don't know, man. How much leeway do you give a developer for the Corona stuff? Like,
I'm not sure.
No one's asking you. God damn.
Alexa's like, I want to chime in on this shit.
We got another host. Sick. Yeah, I mean, a lot, really, because people have been asking me this, and I'm curious what you think. But people are like, well, do you think that like we'll see less content because in the next seasonal theme, maybe like we will only see like the Necro get like the set, and that's it. No like balance changes to come with it. And to me, my response to that is like, as far as I know, there's just like maybe 2 or 3 devs. I have no idea. All I've met is Frankie. So I guess it's like it's really completely contingent upon how much it's affected him and like the people that are on that team versus like
and
Blizzard
like what
as
if
a
those
whole.
guys are like fuck it and quit? What if they get a better offer somewhere too? You know what I mean? That's the scary thing with the small team like that is like like you said, I don't know how many there are. You know what I mean? Exactly. I don't have an exact number, but I know it's just a handful. But what if their main guy is like, let's say like, Massive or fucking Epic is like, yo, we need some developers and here's this great job, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, peace out, Blizzard.
Yeah.
Then what,
Yeah, then that would be really shitty because I assume, when the feeling that I got from talking to a lot of the guys is, there's a lot to take on. So it's like to onboard people, there's a lot of technical debt, I'm sure. So like someone that's like super familiar with it right now, like somebody like Frankie, if he left, that would be, I'm sure that would be like just a fucking nail in the coffin, right?
Well, they'd have to finish the Necro and DH sets. Yeah. Like they couldn't, like they've promised and they'd have to deliver on that, but they could be some super shit sets, So I don't know. I guess every game it probably has that. Like I'm sure there are some super important people in Diablo 4 that if they left, it would totally fuck development or for any game probably. Yeah. But it's just man, it just sucks. Like the quietness leads to the worst.
Yeah, unease. Right.
Like it's the worst. Like if you have information, even if it's not what you want to hear, you're like, okay, well, this is what they're working on.
Right.
At least. But when you don't hear anything, you're just like, are they even doing shit? Right. Like maybe they've abandoned it again and this and that. So
especially after like a period of, maybe the most interaction we've seen from the Diablo.
In years and years. Yeah. So and then now it's just like crickets, and it's like, is it Corona? Is
honestly, I think this
what?
is maybe like, because before, even when it was dead, right? And so this comes from someone who's like, we're putting the schedule together every week. I'm just fucking scouring the internet for, things to talk about, articles that I find interesting, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be honest, like, even before, like, say 2018's BlizzCon, I think that was some of the most dead it's ever been. And even some before this year's BlizzCon, it died down quite a bit. Mm-hmm. But I don't think there's nothing as bad seemingly as it's been right now, because like there's not even CMs to like scour what posts are they replying to, and
there's no official anything
at all. So it's like,
and Reddit is literally just full of like, check out my transmog, check out my goblins. Check out my
which is, by the way, right? Like, we make a post or we make a subject last week of like, hey, it's kind of weird that they like keep fucking talking about goblins. These goblin posts get upvoted, and then like the next day we get double goblins. It just seems so fucking weird. It just adds to like the sketchiness of how this whole thing played out. I don't know.
Was it last? I don't know if it was in podcast or if it was in my stream, but I totally was saying like they should bring back double bounties and start bringing back some of those things on the weekends, and do it for the weekends to try to entice people to come play on the weekends and stuff. And then they did the double goblin thing. I think they should do this though. I think double goblins is a good thing. I don't think it's bad.
It doesn't break anything, right?
I don't think leaving it on for the whole season necessarily is a good thing. I think they need to use that carrot as an enticement to get people to play. Because if it's there for the whole season, you're in the same boat. You're like, it'll still be there tomorrow. It'll still be there next weekend. It'll still, And I think that fear of missing out is a really fine line thing that you want to tinker with. But something like a double goblins or a double bounties, I think if you do it for a weekend or a week or something like that, I think it has a little bit more pull than if you're just like, it's the whole season.
Right. So it's like, that player's like, well, I'll get on at some point and check that out.
They're like, they're like, man, I was going to play COD this weekend, but fuck, it's double bounties. All right, I'm in. You know what I mean? And then grind the bounties. Where if it's like, it's there for the rest of the season, they know, shit, I got 2 more months. I'm good. So.
But I kind of hoped we were done with like double anything from Blizzard. Like maybe forever, but I mean, of all the things, I think that this goes over better than like, say, like, oh, let's Roarg buff in the middle of the season, where and like all these people have been working their ass off to get like rank 1. Like now they have a brand new build they have to like work with, and like everything power wise gets scaled away, and like it's I think that'd be bad.
You couldn't do Roarg buff. No. This is really all they have to work with. I mean, they could throw a double XP on, but that would, I don't know if I like that at all. Double XP is like, XP is already stupid anyways.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I feel like that just make the non-season players pissed.
Well, it could be non-season too, I guess.
Right? I guess.
I mean, you could. It's going to make those guys that are even super more efficient, or those guys that are super hardcore botting, just pull away even more, I feel like, So I don't know if I like that.
Right.
But it's the thing, man. It is kind of fun getting double blue gobbies though. And completely breaking the shit out of the server. We got some lag spikes the other day where it was like, I don't know, man, a good solid 15 seconds. I felt like we were sitting there. So, and then we were doing some metas last night, and we were breaking the server so bad. Have you seen when your skill bar disappears off the screen?
No.
Have you seen that happen before?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So we were breaking it so bad that literally my buttons, like 1, 2, 3, 4, left click, right click, all that, just disappeared off the screen, and it was like square, black, empty squares, and like, I mean, it was.
Guess that kind of made one. Okay, so the double goblins the last time, the first of the seasonal themes, was that before or after T16?
I want to say before.
So like maybe that's why, because more calculations have to happen.
I get. Well, I don't know. Like the goblins weren't what was breaking the screen. It was
chances before. So
but
yeah,
but it was fun. Like the double blue goblins were definitely. It's just like it's trying to process the loot. It's like, okay, maybe it's doing random rolls for every single piece of loot they're gonna drop. I don't know.
But it's just like
And
the
it's so
GR
much.
problem, right? Like the reason they can't go higher is because the calculations are insane. So
Yeah,
I'm sure the
with
same
damage
thing's
and stuff,
happening
yeah.
with the goblins, and that's why we're lagging more on the goblin plaques than before, because now we have T16 instead of T13. It's a bigger damage
But the
calculation.
damage they take doesn't increase. I mean, you don't get any lag in a T16 though. You know, like the damage calculations aren't that high in a 16 that it breaks the server for real.
But like
It,
that
it-
kind of mob density and like the fact that they have to drop gold proportional to how often they're hit and stuff like that,
yeah,
it
maybe.
all probably accumulates.
Yeah.
And they get more
It's-
gold if you're on a higher tournament.
I don't
so that's
mind the
bigger
blue goblin
calculations.
lag.
Yeah.
I actually like the blue goblin lag. I mean,
What?
hardcore, I'm sure doesn't like it, but softcore, it's actually like a reward. It feels good. Like the longer you lag the server, the better job you did. I feel like, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, cool,
I
because
hate
you know it's
lagging
going
the
to
game.
recover eventually. You know, it takes like 5-10 seconds, whatever, but probably 5 seconds on the long side. I don't know how long we really lagged it out. It felt forever. It was definitely one of the longest ones we've ever had because you had double blue like right on top of each other,
Right.
so it was pretty nasty. But yeah, I think we're running on. Remember that server we saw in the museum thing? Was that in the arcade? Do you remember that? I don't know where it was, but it was at BlizzCon, and they had like one of the original WoW.
Oh yeah,
Blade
yeah. The
servers
WoW
there,
Blazer, yeah.
yeah. Can you guys plug that back in and like throw a copy of Diablo on that bitch?
Yeah. I'm sure it's still better than what we have, yeah.
Probably so. Oh man.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I thought that came out of nowhere. And then coming from someone we'd never seen before, it was like a lot to process. And then
yeah, I tried to find more. I even Google searched that person in Diablo 3 forums trying to find more posts, and I couldn't find anything. And so I didn't try super hard. So maybe you can scour and find something, but
I didn't have anything
I didn't
else.
find a lot. No.
But yeah, I also wanted to highlight, like, we don't do this very often, but it happens probably like once a month. Someone posts, I'm sure you see where I'm going with this.
Yep.
Someone posts on Reddit, they got a big ass Diablo tattoo on their body. And we've seen some crazy ones. Like, I've always been like, should I promote? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't want some tattoo person to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to get that on my face or something.
I mean, that's okay. That's a kind of cool tattoo.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would personally want it on my arm forever. And I don't know if I'd want like the little armor boobies that, what is that?
I don't know.
Matthew at the bottom. Who is that at the bottom?
It's fire though. It's like, it's hard to tell.
I don't know what that thing is at the bottom. It looks kind of like
it's one of the
hooded
chick
Matthew,
angels.
fire wings and shit with like armor boobs.
I don't know.
And like, I don't know, man. It's a cool
The
tattoo.
Diablo looks good.
It's pretty
Up
good
here.
artwork for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, that's on your arm forever, dude.
Literally.
You know, like,
Yeah. I had someone
It's
reach
a-
out to me like 8 months ago, and they're like, hey, is it cool if I get the Lord Fluffy logo tattooed? I'm like, I don't even know that I would. Like, are you sure? But he's like, oh, I have
it's probably
Quinn's, and I have, like Rikers. So I'd like really like to get yours. I was like, I mean, I'm not gonna say no to you, but he
it
never
could
followed up.
probably be the same person because they got mine as well. And I saw the final product and I was like, cool, like they did a good job. But they had like a lot of Diablo streamers on there. And I'm just like, it's cool, it's flattering for sure. You know what I mean? Like it's super flattering. But I don't have any tattoos. Like you have a barbed wire tribal thing on your arm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, I'm not against tattoos at all. I think that
No, I'm not against them either.
Sure.
I'm just saying I personally I have many times in my life been like, dude, I want to get this tat. And then I'm like, let's see if I still want it in 6 months. And if I'm still think it's a good idea, then maybe I'll go do it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And 6 months later, I'm always like, yeah, I think I'm all right. You know what I mean? Because the permanent thing scares me.
Sure.
But
I'm always
like-
just an advocate for, just as long as it means something to you. Like if you're just getting it because you think it looks cool, like you said, probably wait 6 months, see if it phases out. But Yeah, it's gotta mean something. So it's like
Yeah,
something you want to
I'm the
remember.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my wife wants to go. She's wants to go get some tattoo from some famous dude in California somewhere. I don't remember all the details and stuff, but I'm like, yeah, if that's what you want, then fuck it. You know what I mean? I don't
Mm-hmm.
care. But I saw his artwork and it's ridiculous. I'm like, dude, that shit looks like a photograph. I don't even know. I don't even know how you can paint that well, let alone tattoo somebody that well.
Right.
So I'm like, sure, you know.
Have you seen like the 3D shit they're putting on people these days? Oh,
yeah, dude.
I saw this guy that had like a tattoo on his back. There's like a skull, and it literally looked like there's chunks of like his back that had been like removed, like where the eye socket was on the skull, because like the guy had done such a good job of like making it 3D like.
Yeah,
it just like made him look like deformed. So just like I don't know what I'm looking at right now.
I don't know if I've seen the guy that she's getting done is somewhere in San Francisco, I think, and or San Diego, sorry, I think maybe San Diego, and he does like full sleeves on people, and like his artwork is like blending all these different pictures in like down their whole arm, and it's insane. Like it's, you know, you look at the work and you're like, God damn, that's ridiculous, but it's like, but then you're sleeved, man. So
Yeah.
like if you try to go get any kind of corporate job, they're gonna instantly be like, nope,
yeah, this guy.
nope. So what, are you gonna wear long sleeves at least till you get through the interview process, and you better not go past your wrists? How are you gonna hide that? You know what I mean? And it's stupid. Like, yeah, should it matter? No. But does it matter? Absolutely.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
at the same time too, it's like I always kind of feel a little bit bad because like, so people are getting the sleeves for a long time, and like that was like really big thing, and then Justin Bieber gets a sleeve, and you're like, well, I have a sleeve. Justin Bieber has a sleeve. It's kind of like the same thing. Like barbed wire was really popular once upon a time, and then like Pam Anderson got barbed wire, and it's just like, oh god.
And then
like
she made barbed wire.
Yeah, and then it made a movie barbed wire. Yeah, true. So yeah, the kids cringe at some point, but
yeah,
socially.
It's cool. So you know, yeah, I'm not promoting or you know, shaming it either way. I think to each his own. I think the artwork's pretty good. I think the Diablo's really sick, and it's on the inside of the arm, which kind of sucks. I would like to see what's on the. It looks like he's got something else on the outside there, but maybe that's cool, man. You know,
it kind of looks like Lilith wings,
I might get something.
Actually,
what's that gonna look like when you're 60? You know what I'm saying? Or 7.
Well, here's the other part of that. It's like, so it's Diablo. Yeah, you really love Diablo right now. What if Diablo 4 comes out, or Diablo Immortal comes out, and it like just completely shits the bed, and it's like a total joke for the rest of eternity? Like, say you had a Fallout tattoo. Like, does it feel a little worse now because like they fucked up so hard that like they're just a fucking laughing stock of the gaming industry, or does that change? I don't know.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways. But I heard some interesting news. Okay.
1 second. I just thought of this. We're talking about the tattoos.
Yeah.
I think this is like a every video game thing, by the way, because I used to frequent the Destiny subreddit a lot when I played Destiny. And I can think of all these people posting these sick ass Destiny tattoos, like full fucking sleeve Destiny tattoos and shit. And that game is in the shittiest spot right now. Of like, I mean, it's making Diablo 3 look good. Really? You know what I mean? Like, it's in such a bad place because you know how Diablo 3 bots are just running rampant in Diablo 3, and it seems like nobody does anything. Like, Destiny's even worse. Like, they're to the point where like their top content creators, it would be like having people like Quinn size, right? Like, their big boys are sitting there saying like, they'll post like an update that they're going to do for the game, and they literally said, I don't give a fuck what you have planned for the game until you fix cheating. I don't give a shit. I don't want to hear anything, but we're taking care of the bots. Like, these people are saying this like straight up at Bungie, at their community managers, like, and it's not just one dude, it's every dude. You know what I mean? So to me, it's just like, you know, I guess if you get the tattoo when the game's in a good place and it means something to you and you're having a great time, then maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe it doesn't matter, but I don't know.
That'd be wild though. Like, to think about that, and like in terms of Diablo 3, like imagine how big of a hit Diablo 3 would take Like, so say, Bloodshed, he streams like 8 hours a day, and he's usually top of the directory unless it's the very start of the season. I imagine if he was like, fuck this game. Like, that would pretty harshly impact Diablo 3 probably. That's pretty wild. Or Jesse Rocks, you
need your loyal dudes that are crazy, crazy streaming, crazy just promoting it.
Right.
Crazy in love with it, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, because you couldn't do it if you didn't have some kind of passion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's wild.
Yeah, that's all I got for the tattoo stuff. But
gotcha.
I don't mind that though. I think if we see some sick tattoos, I don't think it's a bad thing to show them off.
Right. But yeah, so I heard this, there's some articles about, and people are taking them with a grain of salt or maybe looking into them too much or whatever. But, something we've been talking about, like literally the past like years that we've been doing this thing.
Fucking years, yes.
Lost Ark. So Lost Ark, the last we heard from Lost Ark is really there was seemingly no interest from Smilegate to pursue more international releases past Russia, is what their kind of official statement was in a nutshell. But just recently, like the last week, a company called My.Games, which is a international publisher, is going to be hosting Lost Ark. So whether that means, they're just going to put their client on My.Games and then like they're going to handle like distribution instead of like them trying to host their own client like they are right now, and they're just going to like nothing's going to change, or if it's like a step that they're taking. A lot of people are insinuating that, Smilegate's just like keeping this under wraps and like they're really just going to like ninja launch, which is probably in a lot of games' best interest, especially games that are kind of as good as Lost Ark.
Right.
But, and then there's, to follow that up, there's like this Facebook gaming post from Smilegate talking about kind of like a French release. But there's been some discussion of like, well, they're talking about their mobile game or whatever, but it's still kind of like hearsay.
See, French still isn't English. We got to get that English.
Right. But in EU, if it went to EU, it's coming to NA. Like, there's no question.
It's got to go. Yeah, it's got to go somewhere where they need an English client. Once they get an official English client, it's game over. There's no reason not to launch it over here. So I think it's just translation, and I don't know. But that'd be cool if the My.Games is willing to front the work and say, hey, we're going to take a cut, but we'll host it, we'll distribute it, we'll put it on our client.
Now, the other side of that coin is My.Games historically, I guess, is kind of like a pay-to-win type company.
Yeah. Well, we already know what Lost Ark is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to change the pricing model that much. If they did,
I mean, Russia did.
They changed it to less pay to win.
No, more
pay to win in Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when I played it, it was definitely, you could see the pay to win was there.
Yeah.
You could buy experience boosts. You could buy the tickets to do more raids to get better loot. You could do like all the cool cosmetics were all pay. Pretty much everything.
Or faster.
Yeah. But the game was still fun as hell free.
Yeah.
I mean, I still had a great time.
Yeah.
So to an extent, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like,
yeah. I mean, if Lost Ark poof tomorrow it hit, like that's probably like fun. 6 months to a year's worth of content. Like, it would probably be permanent PvP content.
Yes.
Because you'd be like, I want to PvP in ARPGs. I can't do that anywhere besides Lost Ark, and Lost Ark does it really well.
Unless they make the PvP stuff pay to win. You know what I mean? That would suck. But it's interesting, man. The game is fun regardless. Even the leveling experience is still fun in that game. And it'd be a good time just to do that and get into the raids and start to get some gear. It'd be until you started to cap out on the free gear, or you started to hit some of those time gates.
Yeah. But it'd be just like, wow, at that point, right? Where you log in every Tuesday, and do your shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're right. So. And it would expose people to their fucking amazing combat.
Yeah.
So people would actually know what we're talking about if you haven't played it. Like,
you
hear us talk about it every week. It's like, man, it's phenomenal. It's such a different system than you've ever played. Like we don't have any other ARPG that fights like that.
No.
That plays like that. Combat doesn't feel like that. And it's good, man. It feels real good.
Wolfenstein tapped into like probably the closest with some of like their skill animations and like how it plays, but no, not even close.
It's not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that Lost Ark's combat feels really, really good. And I'm not going to say that like, you know, Diablo 4's combat felt really good. It felt like a polished Diablo 3, but it's a completely different style.
Yeah.
I'd have to play more classes in Lost Ark before I could say one was better than the other.
Right.
But Lost Ark's was definitely great and fun and new.
Diablo 4, like it, yeah, like you said, it felt polished. It felt good. It felt like a Diablo 3.8. But yeah, it definitely wasn't gripping, and it definitely wasn't exciting. Like, you know, you weren't like, ooh, I want to fight. Like, I think the biggest testament to that, and I think you've said this before too, is like, so say we were playing the Diablo 4 demo and we're walking from like dungeon to dungeon, like we're just beelining, and there's like mobs to kill on the way, but we're not going to do it because we're just like,
nope.
Whereas in Lost Ark, you're like, oh, there's mobs to kill. I can't wait to use all my crazy abilities.
I think the thing is like, for me, it was like, I'm going to go fuck this thing up. Like, that's what it felt like. It felt like you're like this badass dude, and like you just, you know, I'm going to go fuck this thing up. And in Diablo, it felt so much like Diablo 3 that you and I were just like, we're literally having shit chase us, and we're skipping past it just to get to where we wanted to go. Yeah. You know?
Because it wasn't that fun. There's so much in the demo, like you're just waiting on cooldowns. So much. Like,
but you're waiting on cooldowns in Lost Ark too. It's just they handle it in a way that's like,
you're not really waiting on anything in Lost Ark.
If you build your character right, which is hard not to do, then it's like you have, was it 6?
8.
It was 8 total.
8 abilities with
8 total skills. Yeah, so you're like cycling through your skills, and something's always off cooldown usually, and it's like, you know what your big boy cooldowns are. And they're usually set up by a stun. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna group things up with this ability, I'm gonna stun them all with this ability, and then I'm just gonna lay the hammer down with this ability. And it was like a combo. It's like boom, 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 and then that wind up attack that did all the damage has like this 2-second cast time, where once you hit it, you can't move, you can't dodge, you can't do anything. And if they get up and move, you're fucked. So it's like, when it all comes together and it hits, it feels like you did something. It's like, ooh, that was great.
And to touch more on that, it's like, you know, Diablo's kind of gameplay loop is like, it's kind of like that in certain regards. So you've got your 6 skills, and 4 of them are usually like big cooldowns, and those can feel okay. But like the initial gameplay loop of like, you've got your generator and your spender, I don't think that's very exciting. And I think that that's something that they're continuing to stick to. And it just doesn't feel that cool anymore. Like, it worked for Diablo 3, but like, I'd really like to see them think of something else.
The only thing that really feels rewarding to me in Diablo 3's combat right now is when you're playing, like when I'm running metas and you're dropping your I call them totems, but your phantasms. When you drop your 3 phantasms, and you can, after a while, you learn exactly like when they're going to pop just naturally, and you see that big explosion, and you completely clear the entire screen of mobs. That feels rewarding. It's like the Tal Rasha meteor hitting. It felt rewarding. Or I guess it's like if you're playing the RGK Crusader and you hit your holy cycle, and you chunk the RG's health in like 1 cycle. That feels rewarding. Other than that, like doing rats and just doing crazy damage to the whole screen, it doesn't feel that good. Like, really what you're doing is you're running around just looking for dumb shit so you don't stand in it. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. There's something to, and even with you know, like the Death Nova Necro, when I was playing it and blowing stuff up, it didn't feel super rewarding. You're like, okay, here's my poison cycle, let's blow some shit up, and stuff dies. But it's not the same feeling that you got with Lost Ark with those big explosions, like those big cooldown timings. You know what I mean? Yep. So it's good. But then Lost Ark did have some downfalls, man. Driving that ship around was total fucking horrible.
Island Hearts.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
So
agreed. And there wasn't that much end-game content to do past, you know, the champions, and
I think that they've added some things to that.
They have, but like, it's still like time gated, and it's like that WoW gameplay loop that I just hate so much.
Yeah.
But speaking of World of Warcraft, So Shadow, I get this a lot. People keep coming in my stream and they're like, Fluff, are you going to play the next WoW expansion? Because they, quote, made it like Diablo. And so I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so I was hoping that you had looked into it a bit. But
a little, but not as much as I should have. They added some random tower thing, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but that's the mechanic that people are talking about.
Yeah.
It's still buggy as fuck from what people are saying, and some shit's broken, but I'm gonna look into it. I'm kind of conflicted on this because historically I've kind of avoided all of the WoW alpha and beta because that's the expansion. Like that's the shit you're gonna play for the next 2.5 to 3 years. And if you go play the alpha and the beta, then like you don't have any of the new shit. And so if I was a WoW streamer, I would have to go play it because that's, it's like if Diablo 4 alpha and beta come out, I'm gonna play the shit out of it because, that's my thing, I guess. But I don't know, man. I kind of avoid it historically, but people keep telling me the same thing and they keep telling me to check it out and it's going to be so awesome. And it's like the best thing since Mythic Dungeons and this and that. And so I don't know, man. With the alpha release and the little bits that I've seen, it's kind of got me a little bit hyped up. It's got the train, like, the boarding sign has started. I'm like, okay, maybe. I think it'd be fun. I'm definitely going to play Shadowlands at launch. Now, am I going to stick it out more than 4 weeks or more than the leveling process and the mythics? I don't know. But I will say BFA was garbage. However, when you and I were playing BFA and leveled up and did the mythics, that was fun, man.
Yeah,
I had a good
4 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it took us like a week or two.
No, it was 1 week. That first week of Heroics where none of us had gear. That was fun.
Yeah.
After that, it was garbage. It was garbage after that.
And then that's fine. I quit playing it. You know what I mean? So you can cancel your sub. So I plan on doing that again.
$60 plus the 15. I don't know. I could never probably rationalize that again.
You just spent $60 on Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, but it was also the game of my like adolescence, whereas World of Warcraft is just like some fucking MMO.
And you ripped off Amazon for a PS4.
I did. Best Buy, to be fair.
I don't feel bad anymore. Yeah, Best Buy. So
yeah, but so anyway, so the reason I bring that up, so I went ahead and asked Quinn, like, why do people keep saying like, are you gonna play this game? They made it like Diablo, quote unquote. And so like, is there any truth to that? And he said no, basically, and that if he had to akin it to something, he'd compare it more to like Darkest Dungeon, I guess is what it felt more like, because the way it works is like you go into it like the tower. And you have, like, you're really weak and, like, the mobs are crazy, crazy tough. But then as you progress through it, the mobs get weaker because you get stronger. So it's like a reverse GR. And he doesn't love that about it.
Getting stronger, how are you supposed to not finish? Time-based?
I don't
know. That seems weird.
Yep.
I mean, WoW has innovated some stuff in the past. It's been a long time, but like they are the golden standard for MMOs and farming in general. I mean, they invented making you farm shit like no other that I've ever seen, at least for me in my history of video games. It's like literally go farm in WoW. Like they had a farm and you grew fucking carrots. Like they got you to waste days of your life literally with a virtual farm inside of MMO. Doesn't make any sense. They put Pokemon in there. They did all these other different things, but I think some of the good things they stole, like the Mythic Dungeons, obviously is like Greater Rifts from Diablo. And so if Darkest Dungeon has a cool concept that's like a thing and they can steal it and iterate on it, then awesome, man. I'm excited to play the expansion. I think, again, that first week, the first 2 weeks when you're trying to, level up, get powerful, do heroics, that's fun. That's good times. And that's a proven thing. That's just like a season start. Like it doesn't matter if Diablo 3 never gets another patch and they keep just rolling seasons and just resetting. 6 months from now or 2 years from now, you and I could be like, yo, you want to play season 40? And we're like, yeah. And then that Friday night we hop on and play, we would have a fucking great time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? At least for that night or for that week, So I think that they got that process down. So it'll be a good time.
Sure. But yeah, so I also did some looking up to see what's going on with the old Wolfson this week. The consensus seems to be on the internet that the game's still getting updates. It is still getting updates. The patch notes are, I looked through each patch note post, and then, it's a very short page. It's probably even less than we see for Diablo 3, if you can believe it. For a brand new game, by the way. And the consensus just seems to be like, yeah, they're making fixes, but like, one, it's either just kind of like too little too late, or two, it's just not impacting the game enough, and it's still just like this buggy, terrible mess. So it's just so sad to like finally get a new ARPG, and it's just such garbage.
It felt like it had some potential, but unfortunately, I have no desire to play. Like I said, I finished the campaign. I did like a stream of endgame, if that, and I was just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care. So maybe someday when they release the other chapters, then I'll go back and play. And honestly, man, I didn't even really pay that much attention to the story towards the end. I was kind of like, okay. I was excited for the boss fights because the boss fights felt semi-challenging in that game, and I like that. People lost their shit and complained like crazy to me. The first boss was the hardest for me. I think it took me several tries to get the first one. Some of it was because of bugs. Like, I'm whooping his ass. The first time, I get to phase, I'm like, oh shit, there's a phase 3, and then I died pretty quick. And then the second time I get to phase 3, I'm like ready to go. And then there's like no floor, so you couldn't see anything. And I'm like, okay, great. And then, there was just something. And that happened to me in every boss, actually. Did you get bugs in your boss encounters?
Of course. I mean,
every boss
that's what made me walk away from the game, because I would just fall through the world nonstop. I actually did really enjoy like the build that I come up with, and like this poison damage over time style build, and I had those cool like God of War, whatever you call those weapons, where they like fling out from you,
chain things.
Yeah, and like I was really enjoying that. I thought the gameplay loop wasn't bad. It was honestly better than Diablo 3's current form, where it's just like you're just grinding for upgrades, and when you could upgrade, rares to legendaries, like that felt really good. And it took a long time to like get up enough juice to do that, and then just like they changed all of that, plus on top of like if I were try to push the very top of like GRs, like I would just break the game and I would just fall through the world like 100% of the time.
Right.
So it's just like it was too stupid. I'm sure they fixed. I don't even know if they've fixed, like from what I've seen, they haven't fixed any of that. They've only nerfed builds across the board because it doesn't happen at lower, like greater rifts, basically. So they just nerfed people's ability to hit those high numbers.
They couldn't fix it. Yeah. And that's like the thing with me is like I wanted to build a pet class, a necro class out of the bat. So I'm picking the pet, and they were so bad,
so terrible. Yeah.
But I'm like, fuck that. They got to get better. Like if I keep putting points in, like at some point, like once I get skill points and can get these passives and then like all this, it's got to be okay. So like I had this really shit build when I got to the Act 2 boss. I mean, it was a really shit build. And so it was fun because the Act 2 boss was totally kicking my ass. And then I had to learn to beat the Act 2 boss without getting hit. Basically, I flawlessed the entire fight. And so like that to me felt rewarding as hell, because chat was like, you're never going to beat him with that shit build. And I'm like, oh yes, I will. Like, there was like the challenge, like, yeah, I'm going to beat him with this.
Sure.
And so I had to learn every single little nitpicky mechanic. And that was fun to me. And I enjoyed the harder fights, but I don't know, man. I think the Act 3 boss didn't really feel that good. So I will definitely play it again if they put an Act 4, 5, 6, whatever in there, just to see, like, are the boss fights still going to be good? Are they still going to have, challenges in there?
Yeah.
And then they would have to figure out how are they going to scale it with the end game gear. So like you got somebody like me who quit after you beat the campaign, and they're going to have somebody like you who's got this set that's super juiced up. So like I guess the acts are going to have to scale above that to make both of our gear sets irrelevant, so that we can fight the boss on whatever,
I would just assume it'd pick up
they want.
Where it left off. So like you're supposed to be like level, I don't even know, 40 or 50-ish when you beat the campain. I would assume it'd just pick up like at level 60 or whatever, like where it left off.
So it'd be, like I said, if the update's free, I would not spend money on it again. I don't think,
Yeah.
So unless they had some Jesus update that just looked phenomenal, but
yeah.
It sucks, man. It had potential, and it was something that a lot of us were hyped for, and a lot of people enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it, don't feel like I'm shitting on your fun.
Sure.
I'm glad you had a good time. Like, my opinion was I don't regret my hours playing it, but it was just a campaign to me.
Mhm.
So,
and other news, like this thing is pissing me off because Torchlight 3 is like really the last frontier of me to beta test, because it's like the only game I really haven't. But
right.
they won't lift the NDA, so the only way I can play it, I have beta, but the only way I can play is off stream, and like I just don't game off stream ever. So like I'd have to take a night off just to like dip into the game, but that wouldn't be dipping into the game like I like to dip into a game. Like I wouldn't have, like, it'd be like making a review 5 hours in. I would never do that. So like it sucks. Like I'm not going to dump 40 hours into a game off stream, because like that would be pointless. So I really hope they just lift that eventually, but I have a feeling it's there because it's not a good game and they don't want streamers to expose that it's
To trash it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I had a key for that a long time ago. How did you get access? The same way as your old shit still work? Or did you get a new one?
I mean, I got a new one. Like every single time they do a phase, they would send out new ones.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I don't know. I didn't check. Yeah, I'm the same. I do game off stream a lot. I've just learned that any game that my chat doesn't vibe with, I just play it off stream if I want. You know what I mean? Because it's like, for some weird reason, it negatively, like if you stream a game that chat doesn't feel, it just negatively impacts the next time you play your regular game. It is, people are bitching or you lose viewership. So I'm just like, fuck it, I'll just play it off stream.
Right.
So I actually do quite a bit, but I don't know, man. I feel like the only beta that I think I'm super interested in playing would be Diablo 4. Other than that, I don't really enjoy them that much because A, they're buggy, and B, it ruins the game when it comes out.
PoE 2?
You know what I mean?
You wouldn't play that beta?
I would probably play that, yeah.
Probably? I don't even know you sometimes. I don't even know
Yeah.
you sometimes.
Yeah, I'd play it. I definitely would play it. But see, the thing with PoE 2 is I don't know a lot about PoE. Like when I play PoE, I'm still lost a lot of times. Like a lot of people that first start it, you're just like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. So when I played 2, I'd be able to be like, oh, graphics look pretty. Yay. Oh, hey, look, that arrow bounced off the wall. That's a cool new effect or something. But as far as, I guess unless they completely revamp the systems to the point where it's like everybody's learning again, I'd be behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They won't do that, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So would it be fun? Yeah, I definitely would be interested just to graphically see the improvement. But
Sure.
I hope they don't release a beta for PoE 2 until they redo that UI.
Yeah.
I want to see them drop a sick UI and be like, yo, check it out. Check out PoE 2. And then when you see it, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That looks really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Agreed. But I think that even of itself, like, I think you'll be very impressed with, like, I don't know if you ever had the chance to go back and watch again, but like they did zoom out. Like one of the biggest complaints a lot of Diablo players have is like it's so zoomed in feelingly, like compared to Diablo 3. Like it's so much more scaled in, and you're like, I just want to zoom out. And they definitely resolved that with PoE 2. And obviously,
and that's a complaint for me with Diablo 3. Even like, I wish I could zoom out a little bit more. Diablo 3. Yeah. Would you? Do you get that feeling? You don't want to?
I think, I don't know. You lose some detail, I guess, but
I'm okay with. I mean, you can zoom in if you want you want to,
I feel like people would always zoom all the way out, though. I don't know. Then you just like you're playing.
I don't zoom all the way out in WoW. Like I have this nice little, and it depends if I'm playing caster or melee too. If I'm playing melee, I'm usually in a little bit closer, and if I'm caster, I zoom out a little bit more. You know what I mean? So, but I my problem with Diablo is the vertical, up and down. You have so little. And then if you play on a super ultra crazy widescreen, you get an advantage from side to side as well. Because it actually loads in those weird, that extra juice. So
right on. But yeah, so in PoE news, they're still seemingly crushing it. People are still complaining about performance issues. No surprise there. They did some quote unquote nerfs, but the builds that were still like crazy good are are crazy good. You know what? One of the things I am noticing is like they seem to scale the game around like those really OP builds. So like they keep nerfing health, like maximum life pool, like league after league, because like the builds where I'm noticing the builds that just are scaling crazy well. You know, like say the cyclones, the minions, or builds where you don't have to worry about really stacking that much damage because it's so overtuned already, and you can just literally worry about stacking defense, and like you become like a fucking god. Whereas like builds that I try to make where it's like, no, I have to like actually spec in the damage like a lot to like make a plausible character that can farm all the content, and then my defense suffers and I get one shot, and that's super frustrating. But I mean, that's PoE. Like the fact that I can keep making builds, like people are like, you're gonna get tired of poison, but like there's literally, I mean, I have just touched the tip of the iceberg on how many different kinds of poison builds I could actually make in the game. And like that's just insane. Just the tip, literally.
Just the tip.
Tip of the iceberg.
The tip game, poison tip game. Somebody said the campaign's harder now. That this last update they made the campaign harder on PoE.
They made bosses like phase more, and they are like invulnerable outside like their phase windows, or they take less damage. They get like more mitigation after their phase windows. So yeah, like some of the guardians were like a joke before to like spawn elder and shaper, and now I think they're probably even harder than Awakener 8. Like they're so tanky, and if you get like cast or attack speed on them as a mod, like they're literal fucking gods. So
yeah, I don't remember dying to any boss in the campaign. I'm sure I did at one point or another, but when they said that they made the campaign bosses harder, I'm like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if I wonder if I get wrecked now if I played through it again. So
I mean, you died in lab quite a bit, so there's that.
I did die, and I don't know about quite a bit. I died once though at the end. Like was it once or twice? I don't know. It might have happened twice to me in a row on the final lab. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So I was like getting cocky the first time, I'm just like, this isn't shit. You know what I mean? And then I just got one shot or something. I don't even know what happened. So
yeah. But I mean, honestly, like people are like, are you getting burned out? And no, I'm really not. It's just pretty crazy. There's just so much to do, man.
Burnout's starting to set in for Diablo for me. It's been 5 weeks of the same season. I started with Necro, which was fun because you had triple cube, and I wanted to do Blight or Death Nova Necros. Never done it. I'm like, okay, let's do some Death Nova Necros or metas, and we did that. And I was like, it's okay. And then everybody's raving about Witch Doctor. Or Witch Doctor is so good. You gotta play Witch Doctor. Gotta try Witch Doctor. I'm like, okay, make a Witch Doctor. I'm like, let's do metas on the Witch Doctor to see what feels better. I personally like Witch Doctor more. So been doing Witch Doctor metas and smashing them out. It's pretty easy. So I'm like, all right, this is cool. And so between the two characters now, I'm like, okay, I almost have my Witch Doctor full augmented at like 120, 130 gems. And it's like, so after I finish that up, what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, now I'm gonna make a new character, or is it just time to move on to a new game for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
So it's
the conundrum of D3.
Burnout's not really there yet, but it's gonna hit probably in the next week or so. I'm gonna be like, okay, well, it's either start a new character, which I don't think I want to do, or
yeah, or I absolutely hate that. Like that's the MMO loop. Like especially World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, you reach a point where like
alts. Yep.
You're so fucking god tier that you're just logging in for your weekly raid or whatever, and there's like no point in farming outside of that raid for that character because you're not gonna get like anything better. So like it's like, well, I guess make it alt, and it's just like I don't want to be forced. Like I want to keep pursuing upgrades and making my guy like insane.
That's one of the things I think Diablo 3 does pretty well, is that you can get gear. You could potentially get an upgrade no matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter.
But to a certain threshold. But they still do a pretty bad job overall, I think, because then it's just like your Paragon. You get a primal, maybe you have like a really perfect ancient, and you're fighting for like a 1% upgrade. Like doesn't feel good at all. Whereas in PoE, you could literally get something that's like poof, 10% upgrade, like all of a sudden. Even like playing millions of hours. which is just gonna take.
But can you get that 10% upgrade doing any activity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it depends. Yeah.
I think Diablo throws so much loot at you now that you hit this. I'll call it a soft cap. You're gonna hit your soft cap with gear pretty quick, right? You've got all ancient pieces, and they're all pretty okay rolled. And that's what your soft cap is. Then you're just searching for primals, right? Or perfect rolled ancients, like top tier shit. But you can get those pieces doing anything. I could go do bounties all day if I wanted. I could go do T16s all day if I wanted. I can go do greater rifts because that's the only 3 activities you can do. But you can go do all of those things and you can get the loot. And I like that. Whereas, like, for example, World of Warcraft, if you want that upgrade, like, you have to do the raid, which is on a weekly lockout. You know what I'm saying? So you get that one Tuesday night per week or whatever day your guild raids to go get your loot. And then what? Then you're not doing anything for upgrades. So that's something that I hope that a lot of games, at least especially Diablo 4, doesn't go down. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to put a cooldown on doing XYZ dungeon modifier or XYZ dungeon or whatever endgame activity you have.
Right.
And PoE doesn't have that either. I mean, I guess they limit your time gate by how many times. So every time you spawn, Awakener 8, you have to farm mats and kill.
You just have to respawn the Conquerors, and you have to kill the Conquerors, and you respawn Awakener.
And what's the time? Let's say you have a tricked out build. Like, let's say you're playing the meta this season, whatever it is, the most OP build.
Sure.
Right. And you're shitting on content. So what's the timetable for you to kill Awakener 8 and then respawn him and kill him again? A day, an hour, a week?
I mean, the builds that are like crazy Herald stackers and like they can run T16 maps in like fucking 30 seconds. Like it could be maybe an hour, 2 hours between Awakener 8s.
So your average person's can do it like twice a day.
Your average person, yeah, probably once every 2 or 3 days.
Okay. And then the loot table, I'm assuming, is massive, so you're probably not going to get what you want when you kill them.
Yeah, well, I mean, on bosses, you have a better chance of getting what you want because it's a finite loot table. Whereas if you're just like playing the game, chances of you getting something you want are pretty low.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's just like everything. So, yeah, I'd rather see that kind of time gate where your input determines your output.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus just twiddling your thumb.
But even still, like, RNG is RNG. So that guy that, like, he spawns Awakener 8 once a league, he can get the crazy best item. Yeah. And you've been farming him all league and you didn't get shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that's, like RNGesus. I was trying to get a better soul harvester yesterday for my witch doctor because I got an ancient one. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's just okay. So I took another, non-ancient one, and I re-rolled it in the cube 35 times and didn't even get an ancient out of 35 re-rolls. I'm like, what the fuck? There. It's like, it's so many mats, man. It's like hours and hours and hours of T16s that, I didn't really do all of them. My community
hours and hours of bounty mat giveaways. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? but still, like, RNGesus is a bitch, and it's crazy, like, not even to get an ancient. I don't know, man. It just kind of set the mood for the rest of the stream. That was like, as soon as I started, I'm like, okay, let's burn all my bounty mats and see if we can get a better weapon. And I didn't even get one ancient. So, it feels so bad.
Yeah.
And then you got somebody that's like, oh, hey, look what I got for my level 70 first clear.
Right.
And they link like a fucking perfectly rolled weapon, and you're just like, dude.
That historically happens to me in PoE, like getting a 6 link. I'd spend like a minimum like 3K fusings, and people are like, I just got it in 3. And you're like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah. It's nuts, man. So I don't know. I think I pissed somebody off, and my streamer buff got taken away.
Yeah.
So
probably true.
If you guys just kind of like a public service announcement, if you guys aren't keeping your eyes on a lot of these game companies, they're giving away games for free for the Corona stay-at-home shit. So like PlayStation is giving away the Nathan Drake collection for free. So just make sure you log in and claim it if you have your PlayStation. You don't have to. It's not like it goes away. Once you claim it, you own it. It's on your account forever. Epic gives away free stuff all the time. I don't know what they're giving away right now, but check out the Epic launcher. Yeah, there's a bunch of things that So
What's
just
Nathan Drake?
it's I thought it was a PlayStation exclusive, but I could be wrong about that. It's voiced by Nathan Fillion, who did the voice for Cade 6. He was in Firefly. He plays on a TV show as a cop right now called The Rookie. Really famous voice actor and actor in general. And it's kind of like a modern day version of Tomb Raider, I guess. Maybe I don't know, but it's the fourth. It's Uncharted. Have you heard of Uncharted before?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's Uncharted.
Okay.
So like Uncharted 4 is relatively new. I don't know how new, but that game got some really good praises. And I looked at it. It's a PlayStation Plus free game this month, and it looked good. But I would say it's like modern day Tomb Raider, I think. So,
gotcha.
I haven't played it, but it looks good. It's a AAA budget. So, and then has your chat been blowing you up about Valorant? Like, goddamn,
of course.
Dude. Oh my god! Like every day, it's like, yo, P, you played Valorant? You gonna play? You should check it out. It's
drops.
The shit. It's so much fun.
You have drops enabled?
Yeah, drops. Okay. Let's get your thoughts. I've watched people play it multiple times because people keep raving about how good it is, and every time I watch, I'm like, this looks like, but it doesn't look that good. It did not look enticing enough to me to want to go play it. I'm just like.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I get it. There's been a lot of games where I'm like, I don't fucking get it. I get it with Valorant. I think that's a big takeaway for me is like, I totally see why people love it. I would see countless hours of Counter-Strike being played, and I never really I always got it with Counter-Strike, but it never really appealed to me. And this is just like Counter-Strike 2.0. So I'm really happy for everyone that's super excited over this game because I know Counter-Strike's like a big deal and all those people are like feeling nostalgia, plus like it's new stuff. So that's like amazing. I agree that I don't personally think it's very fun to watch. I will say when I follow a lot of, FPS players on Twitter. And like seeing like a play where someone kills a whole team is like, okay, like that was pretty cool, like a good clip. But like actually watching, like a normal game like play out, it's like, please, blindfold me. Like I don't want to watch this. Like it's just so slow. It's so boring.
Like, and it's like 90% of it is like people going, what the fuck? What just killed me? Oh my god, that that's bullshit, and just complaining the whole time. And then that one moment, they'll get like a couple good kills, but like 90% of it is just like, I don't even know what happened. Like it's like, I was around the corner.
Were you watching Tim the Tatman?
Oh my god, I watched Doc, Tim, Shroud, or not Shroud, Summit. Yeah, they're all just like going nuts, man.
Yeah.
So even Lupo a little.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it. Like again, like it looks great if that's what you're into, but that's just not.
I'm not feeling it. Maybe it's one of those ones I need to play it. And did you play Warzone at all? People have been trying to get me to play that too, and I did watch some Warzone, and that looked more appealing to me. I actually was like, I could maybe see myself playing the Warzone a little bit.
I did jump into Warzone, and honestly, my only takeaway is like it was, Like, when I played Apex the first time, like I just knew, right? There's things that just clicked, and I was like, oh my god, I love this game, and I was super addicted for weeks and weeks and weeks. Whereas I played Call of Duty Warzone, I just didn't get that, and it felt like COD, and COD's got such like a negative taste for me. It just didn't kick. I still don't. They dumbed it down. I think they made it a lot easier to play. I think it is more geared towards like, console than probably is PC, which is good or bad. Because when I think of like PC shooters, I think of Valorant, like 100%, like a really Twitch based, crazy hyper precision type of game. When I think of console shooters, I think of fucking Halo, and like you're flying around and it's doing spin no scopes and shit like that. So, But again, PC has like Unreal, and that's like probably the fastest.
Man, the only reason that I like console shooters, the only reason is because there's fucking less cheaters, man.
Hmm.
Like, I'm so tired of like, I hate when somebody has a good play on you and you're like, oh, that was really nice. When the thought process enters your head, man, were they hacking? Were they cheating? Were they aimbotting? And I feel like at least when I'm playing on console, I don't feel that as much. I think a console is like, it just seems like it's its own contained OS. I'm sure there's probably ways people do it,
Man, we
but
have
you know
such
what
a
I mean?
different memory. Of, like, so I've played a ton of console shooters. Man, it's been
You think
so bad.
there were aimbots
Oh
in
my,
console?
oh my god, oh my god. Halo 2 was probably the worst game of all time to play on Xbox Live because people would use standby. People fucking like wall glitch. That people like it. People jump like straight up and fly like 500 feet in the sky and then like not have to look at you and one shot you. Like it was the worst game to play online of all time. A lot of the Call of Duties have been the same way. Like I remember like Ghost was like just the most hacked piece of crap game on console. Like so.
See,
Yeah.
I never played a lot of Call of Duties. When my reference is really going back to Destiny 1 days versus especially Destiny 2. But and on console on Destiny there was like DDoS and people would lag, lag switching, lag glitching, whatever. But those were super blatantly obvious, and you knew when the dude was doing it. Like you see a dude teleporting around the map, like okay, he's cheating, whatever. But if I'm fighting a guy and he just outgunned me, I don't think like that fucker was aimbotting. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, he had better thumb skill and he killed me. Um, but I didn't play Halo or hardly any CODs. I don't know, man. Cheating is like at all time. It feels like every game is just full of fucking bots everywhere you go now. And it's
Yeah.
like, are the developers, is the cat and mouse that bad and the mice are getting that good? Or are like people, are there like that many guys out there that are super educated now on how to fucking read memory and write these scripts and these bots to aim hack? Or like there's got to be some way, like somebody's got to get some kind of technology where they can be like, listen, we're gonna like fucking use a 10,000 bit encryption on the memory that you're
Mhm.
never gonna break.
Well, I can
And then
tell
we're
you, like
gonna
from firsthand experience, it's just like it's always playing catch up. Like not only you're working at a company and you have like other goals outside of okay, like we want to prevent players from doing this, right? And so you're trying to catch up with what they're doing to you, and then they just have more time because like okay, you fix that issue that they caused, and then it's like well, maybe you can help out the rest of the team and focus on like okay, getting this new content piece out. But then, like, meanwhile, that person's like spending 24/7, like, coming up with new ways to like fuck up your shit. And it's just like you can like we're always going to be playing catch up there, and that's why I hate to play devil's advocate, but I'm kind of for pay to play games in that regard.
Yeah,
The games that I
me
like to play
too.
a lot of, so I don't mind if Diablo 4 is a pay to play because it has that at least payment gate. But like it still pisses me off because Diablo 3 is a pay to play, but they don't do fucking shit. And they should like,
Right.
and it still blows my mind that they don't do it
And
because they
see,
can make
and that's
money.
that's the problem. That's the problem with and like I reference Destiny so much, and it's because I love that game. I love that franchise, and it's been shit, and I haven't even played it for months, and I still want to, but it's garbage right now. And it happened when they switched to Steam. As soon as they went from the Battle.net launcher and they went free to play at Steam, even though there's like a content gate, their PvP is free for the most part, and like some of their PvE is free. But that was it, man. The floodgates opened and people bought all day because they don't give a shit. They
Right.
make a new account 30 seconds later. They're not hardware banning. Apparently now you can rip a GPU serial number out of your GPU.
Mm.
So like they could GPU ban people. And it's like and I'm sure there's ways that you could change, just like you can program your MAC address or change your hardware ID. Like there's ways you can do all kinds of shit. But there's so many methods that they could do. Like once they ban somebody, ban their GPU, they play on that GPU again, boom, they're gone. So it's like, I don't know. It's so frustrating to see like Destiny fucked over, Division's got hackers in it, Diablo's got hackers in it. Like World of Warcraft is full of fucking bots 24/7. I mean, dude, I've seen farm bots in that game since day one. I can't even think of a game where I don't see bots now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like,
Yeah, it's weird because like PoE, I think they've done it in such a way like they just don't affect you that much. Like they affect the market, but you don't really like. How do you really? Unless you're like a really high end player, like you wouldn't really know it was affecting your game.
Mm-hmm.
So because everyone's like instance away from each other, there's not that like sense of world. Same with Diablo. Like you wouldn't really know people bought in Diablo except for the leaderboards, right? Like and Paragon levels.
Well, if you randomly group up with some dude that's like 6,000 Paragon,
right?
In the season, like,
whereas PoE you just wouldn't know at all.
I think I don't think people realize that though. A lot of people are oblivious. They'll get with somebody, they'll group with somebody that high, and they're just like, "Oh shit, you're a god." You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't. A lot of people are like, "Oh." Some people tell me that they didn't even realize botting existed until they came to my stream, and I was like, "Oh no, this is a bot. This is a bot." And they're like, "Really? Oh shit." Like I didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is something. It kind of reminded me. I was thinking about this I think I was talking about this on streaming the day. I think a downside for PoE to me is that it doesn't emphasize group play at all. I think that's one of the things that takes away from me a little bit. Because I definitely prefer to play in groups than solo. I never played Diablo 3 solo. Never. I get on stream and I'm like, I'll grab buddies. If buddies aren't on, I grab viewers, or maybe I'll plan to do both. But I'm always like, yo, let's group up, let's do stuff. And SSF doesn't super appeal to me because I don't like to play solo. But PoE doesn't reward you at all for playing in a group. Like there's no what are the benefits? What are the benefits?
It's just like Diablo, so like you can have support people that just like buff up the other people to become gods, and then stuff that would normally be like really, really challenging for you to fight solo just becomes kind of like trivial. And you can combine your like, say like everyone has like a really rare set of keys. Like, so say you can spawn Uber Elder, and it's just like, usually that's just you, like, and you go and fight them. Whereas if you like, you get in a group, like, well, everyone's got a set of keys to open Uber. It'd be like getting Ubers in Diablo, right? Like everyone works together.
Nobody that I know that plays PoE ever talks about group play or ever tries to get group play going.
I mean, if you like you could talk to Deuce, like Dusky loves grouping all the time in PoE.
Does
still, yeah. So I mean, I don't do it. I don't talk to anyone that does it besides Dusk. He seems like I think if you were to ask him straight up, like, what do you like grouping better? He would definitely say Diablo 3 without question, probably. But he definitely does it a lot. So I don't know. I see a lot of people doing it.
Maybe I had a wrong opinion because I was under the impression that there's really no point to do it. So if it does benefit, then interesting.
Yeah.
That's a plus, I suppose.
We could group, you just never. We had that one opportunity. You just like wouldn't
I played with you that one time. You were just dragging me through content. I'm just like, this is dumb as fuck. I'm not learning anything. You're just like, keep up.
How's it any different than Diablo 3?
I don't know what to pick up. I don't know. I don't know what we need here. So
right.
But yeah, it's interesting. All right, real quick. We talked about it at the start. And I just want to. We said we were going to talk about it this week a little bit. We both finished Final Fantasy, so if you still don't want Final Fantasy spoilers, tune out for like 3 minutes. I'm gonna keep it short. I got to sneeze. Sorry. Fluff votes this thing a 3 out of 10.
Yep.
Which is unbelievable.
Why is that unbelievable? I don't think that you're not thinking about it properly. Because how do you rate a game? How do you rate a game? So you have
I'm wrong for not hating it.
Yes, because there's zero replayability. Zero.
Okay.
Like literally fucking zero. The story, like it differs so much from the original, and it ends in such a terrible way, and throughout the whole thing, and I know you agree, like the Whispers are really fucking dumb. So story, you can't really give it that great of a rating either. So like, what's giving it the 8 out of 10 for you?
If you stopped the original game as you left Midgard, would you give that story a 10 out of 10? It's because you know the rest of the story. You can't compare like the Midgard to the Midgard. It's like, it's not a 1-to-1. The original Final Fantasy VII, if you just threw the disc in, you started playing. As soon as you leave Midgard, you turn it off. Are you gonna be like, yo, that story was the shit?
Well, would you know that there's expansions in the future? Of course.
Yeah, but you don't know the story though.
Yeah, but like there's still that satisfying. Like, there's not this like weird fucking. Punch you in the face.
I definitely want to play
moment.
the second one. to see where the story goes.
Well, yeah, okay, sure, but it's not like, ooh, I'm so like, Pog, I can't believe this is amazing. It's like, what the fuck? It's totally a different experience. It's not like yes, let's go, baby. It's like, what the fuck just happened?
So
this is
they
stupid.
drastically changed the story in the last 20 minutes of the game, or hour, or however long that sequence was. But the very, very end of the game, they definitely changed where things were heading, right? But they did it in a way where it's like, what is this? To me, I'm like, what is this? What is this alternate timeline? Is this alternate reality? Is this, what the hell is going on? I want to find out more. And I'm genuinely interested to see where they take the story. If they change the story and take liberties with the story, I'm okay with that, because the original is still there, and I can still go watch that, and I can still go play that and experience that story. And if I wanted a remaster, then the game would have been titled Remaster. But this isn't a remaster. Make. It's a remake, right?
I think remake is more staying true to the original than a remaster. The remaster is like we're touching it up.
What movies have they remade? Like what? Let's think of a movie that they've remade. I don't know, man. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Like if they remade Matrix, for example, you want them to keep the same exact fucking story, like line for line, bit for bit? Or are you okay with them being like, we're gonna put our twist on it?
Yeah, I think that what someone's like, it should have been reboot, is really what it should have been.
Okay. So if they would have just said
remaster would have made more sense. I think remake is the worst title you could pick. Remake's just like we're remaking it with better graphics.
Remaster doesn't fit unless they stick 1-to-1 100%.
No, I think remake is 100%. Remasters, you can go off the path a little bit. To me, verbiage wise, because remake is like we're just remaking it.
I think reboot would have been a better fit than remake. Yes, but I think that's what it was. I think this was a reboot, not.
Sure, but don't fucking call it remake then. Call it re-fucking boot.
So if they call it reboot, what would you give it?
Still, I mean, honestly, I think the best possible thing that they could have done is called it Final Fantasy VII: Whispers of Fate. Like it's its own fucking thing, and like you get the nostalgia feels. You're kind of being like debated the whole time, like, oh, this is kind of like a remake. Well, this is fucking cool. And then at the end, you're like, okay, oh, they just like blew in my face. Okay, well, it's a new game, so it's like I guess it's not.
They just blew. They just blew in my face, huh? Oh my god. Yeah, it has some downfalls.
Some
the side quest was fucking horrible.
Is Square Enix just giving you some money to play? Like, why? No, what are you being so positive for?
So many.
It was bad.
It had so many good things.
What were the good things?
Like, okay, first off, the animations, like the FMVs, graphically, the character modeling, the voice.
But you're complaining about the FPS the whole time.
No, I didn't say FPS. I said FMVs.
I know, but like
videos.
You were talking about graphically animations, stuff like that. Well, the animations get bogged down by the FPS still, right?
The FPS it was choppy as fuck as you're spinning your camera around.
Okay, continue. Like sorry,
but that's a PlayStation. That's a PlayStation problem. So, graphically it was beautiful. Combat was okay at times. It could have used a little bit more polish, I feel like, but it wasn't completely bad for what it was.
The mobs that would like slide. Oh my god, it's so terrible. They'd slide and then they like push you and you'd slide with them, and it was total garbage.
Yeah. There was a lot. I don't think there was enough reward for good reaction timing to like dodge attacks or block attacks or things like that. It was just like some things were just unavoidable. It was unavoidable damage where you had to know the encounter ahead of time.
Right.
And
know that you should block up instead of
heal the fuck out of yourself to try to live through it and stuff like that. But regardless, like combat was still fun-ish. If we're gonna completely like break the game down, I would say a true 1-to-1 remaster of Final Fantasy VII from the ground up would have been better to me.
Yeah.
If they would have just straight up made it a turn-based ARPG 1-to-1, walk through the same fucking levels, the same floors, the same missions, the same dialogue, and just voiced over all of the dialogue in there, and had like more modern graphics, that would have been the shit.
Mm-hmm.
But they gave us this 3D thing. It was still fun, man. If you had, for somebody who had never played the original, it would still be a great story, a great adventure, a great game. You might even like it enough to replay it a couple times. I don't know. But for me personally, the biggest reason I'll never replay it is because the stupid ass quest, the green quest, were ridiculous. That shouldn't have been in the game. I honestly feel like they put those in for time killers, just to soak up 10 hours of gameplay. So you could be like, oh, it's a 40-hour game, when really it's like a 27-hour game or something.
Right.
But other than that, man, I'm excited to see where the story arc goes. I'm okay with it.
I still don't, like, the way you described the game, I still don't know how you landed at an 8. Your metric system is all fucked up.
What game did I not like that I should?
I mean, it's just like, how does all those negative things, seemingly about the entire game, still have to be an 8 out of 10?
Well, I just listed all the shitty things. Like, I mean, we can go through the list of things I did like. If okay, graphically it was beautiful. The music is Final Fantasy VII,
Sure.
So it's
Graphics,
fantastic.
music, good. Yep.
Graphics, music, good. Combat, I'm gonna call that a wash. It was plus. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was even.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the materia system was pretty true. It fit okay. Is the materia system in the original that kind of weak? Like, to me now as an adult, in all the games I played, I was like, man, there's not really crazy combinations I can pull off here. But I haven't played the original in like 10 years, so
yeah, it was pretty weak.
Maybe it was pretty basic too. I don't know.
Really getting to know, like, yeah, like, they're like weapons gave you like materia modifiers, and then like having like the elemental materia and like linking those, like that was the only kind of big brain stuff about it. And like,
yeah, I mean, there wasn't.
But,
I mean, and that shit's just knowledge that carried over from the first one.
Right.
Like, I already knew as soon as I got the elemental materia, it's like, okay, well, this is getting thrown on my weapon with whatever weakness the enemy has that I'm gonna fight. Easy mode. Or, you got your all materia was just renamed to something else, but it was basically fucking all materia.
Right. I love like the addition of prey seemed like way too strong to me.
Yeah, prey was OP as hell. Yeah, 100%. So, but it was fun to experiment and play with those things again. Barrett was fun as hell. His voice acting was absolutely hilarious. Like, when you'd finish a fight and you hear Barrett go da-na-na-na, da-da-da-da-da, like, just him singing that was hilarious. It was fucking awesome. The story was good, man. The story still final. The overarching story is still Final Fantasy VII, and it's such a good story that I don't know. I mean, that in itself was enough to carry the game. You know what I mean? Regardless,
except they didn't stay true to it.
Well, at the end, they changed things, but they left it in a way where it's like, okay, what are they doing here? I don't know.
But it's not just at the end. Like, you finally figure out what the whispers are, and it's like, no, well, that just means like basically they changed the whole game because they were there the whole time. Really?
The whispers were stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
Especially in design. It looked like black penises flying around on the screen. Let's be real. Like, I don't understand how that got through. But the overarching story was still there, man. You still went to Midgar. You still met Aerith. You still fell through the church. You still had to get out. The pillar crashed down and killed everybody. You had to go up and save or get revenge in the Shinra building, which the Shinra building was the shit, by the way.
Yes, exactly. Awesome. And I think everyone I've talked to about Final Fantasy VII Remake that played a lot of the original, that's literally what everyone says, is like the Shinra building was amazing. And so, like, to me, that's like 100% your evidence that like all people really wanted was a fucking remake, and you gave him like this pile of shit. So like,
but see, I wouldn't call it a pile of shit. It's not a pile of shit. It's not what is it? Could it have been better if it were a straight, true 1-to-1 remaster? Absolutely. It would have been probably a better game. But is it a pile of shit? No, man. Come on, dude.
3 out of 10.
Like,
for me, it's 3 out of 10. That's a pile
what
of
was
shit.
Wilson? Dude, what was Wilson? If Wilson is above a 3, then what the fuck?
Yeah, Wilson is above a 3 for me. It's like 4, though. It's like a 4, 3.5, 4. Yeah.
Come on, man. Wilson was better than FF7 Remake?
Because I like ARPGs, and like I made a character, I made a build. There's a skill tree. Like it's still shit. Know. It's still fucking shit, but it's like better shit. A little bit. I mean, like
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this story, and I think I take the game for its beauty, its voice acting. Like the voice acting for the main characters and the main story was good. Some of the side guys were kind of cheesy. You know what I mean? But for the main stories, the main guys, graphically, like most of the zones were pretty appealing. The monsters were pretty appealing, and then just to see this story, like I want to see this story unfold and play through all the segments. And then I'll have the original story to compare it to, and I'll have the new story, and then I can make a judgment on which one had a better story to it, which I'm sure will be the first one. But it's cool. Like now that we don't know exactly what's going to happen, it does change things up a little bit for the second one. You know, it's like, okay, well, if they're going to take us through this alternate story, then XYZ could die or not die. Or
but is that
whatever.
what people wanted? Is like that begs the big question. I still feel like more people wanted just a straight up remake, and I still think it would have told the story better to new people coming to the franchise to just remake the old one than doing this shit show.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think there's any scenario where what the play that they did was better than just straight up remaking the game.
I agree. I don't think that this remake was better than a remaster would have been. But just polishing up, so if it would have got like the Final Fantasy VIII treatment, like they remade or remastered Final Fantasy VIII, tried to pretty it up a little bit with some high-res textures and shit, it still looks like garbage, man. Like you had to have built it from the ground up. And I think if they could have like really found a way to make some super juicy 3D models and stuff with the old school story, then sure, it would have been badass. You know?
Yeah, but it just really sucks, you know, from a fan point of view, because like, what was it, like 9 fucking years ago that they showed us like Cloud jumping off the fucking train, like pound for pound the same thing that we had in the original, besides like really cool graphics, and then to like debate us this entire time.
I think the big downfall is that the slums were pretty shitty. If we really get to the meat of it, like the initial Mako reactor that you go kill was pretty cool, and it was pretty 1-to-1 to me. Like the first intro mission was like, oh shit, this is phenomenal. Agreed. Right?
Yeah. And that was the demo too. Like that just like it's further to debating.
And then you get to the slums, and the slums were very linear, very narrow, shitty in general. Like they weren't really great places to hang out, and you spent a lot of time in the slums, especially doing all those stupid fucking side quests. And I kind of feel like that whole section of the game, which is a big section of it, could have had some works, could have had some Shinra building love added onto it. And I just don't see how the second and third installments, or however many they're going to be, are going to be open world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see how they're going to be open world. They're going to be linear just like this. So
yeah, I agree. Probably.
That's a little scary.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's a lot of Final Fantasy talk, but yeah, I mean, I give it an 8 though. I still think it's a good game, and I think especially if you've never played the original, you won't have that bias to judge it against. And I think you would be like, oh, this is phenomenal. This is great. The story's amazing. The music's amazing. The graphics are amazing.
How that could be true either. But the only person I talked to that's experienced it for the first time was Quinn. And I mean, it's Quinn, so. I'd love to hear someone actually experience it for the first time, and like a big console gamer. Because like, I still got to imagine like the Zack moment. It's like, what? And Sephiroth not really like having a firm grasp on what he is. Does it really feel that menacing as a new player? I don't know.
Yeah, and I can see that. And once we get the other stories, maybe it'll all make a lot more sense. You know, I do think they did a shitty job in this story of setting up how badass Sephiroth really is.
Right.
Like in the first one, you knew, like they let you know, like this is the baddest motherfucker that the world has ever seen, and you don't want to fight him ever. And you definitely didn't get that from this one. So.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah, and you're fighting him at the end, and he's like fucking casting Thundaga. It's like, what the like? What are we? So stupid. It's such a huge
Genova looked
transition.
pretty badass too, though, man. So I don't know. They could still do some really cool shit.
Yeah, Shinra, the whole Shinra building, like we all agree, was like fun. Like the Shinra fight and seeing like how that was like. I think that was one of the big unsolved mysteries to me in the original Final Fantasy was like you see Sephiroth before Genova gets out, and you're always like, how? And this one they kind of cleared it up because it was the fucking clones, right? 'Cause it was very clearly clones, and they showed that like pound for pound they showed that, and it was like okay, the cool, but. Like, yeah, to me, is like this was an opportunity to tell the story of Final Fantasy VII again and maybe clean up some of those loose ends and like make it graphically stunning and like that. Genova fight was
love
good.
the Jesse side story that they put in there. I thought that shit was cool, and I like how Cloud was. Did you have Jesse? Did you accept her pizza date or whatever it was?
I don't even know.
So funny, man.
Yeah. But then like the Disney
let's-
at the end where like Reigns and like characters are back. Like it's just so fucking stupid. It's like watching a Disney movie, man.
I'm not gonna be happy if in the end product all the people that were supposed to be gone are still back. If it's a happy ever after with fucking everybody,
Right.
I'm gonna be.
And what is that like? If there's Zach is gonna join the team and like you've got two clouds on it. It's just so dumb.
But what if they find a way to spin that shit like amazing style though? Like,
well, then we're gonna go into like Final Fantasy VIII where you're like, it doesn't really resonate either because you're like constantly going back and playing like what the Leon guy, and it's like, ugh, and he's got the gunblade too, but he's like, ugh, it just doesn't play well.
Was that his dad? I don't even remember.
I don't remember either. I think it was.
I think it was his dad. Let's hit up some Twitter questions.
Nerd over. Weeb out.
Yeah, we're done weebing. They're updating Fallout 76, by the way. They're still working.
Are you serious?
It makes me laugh. That's all I'm gonna say about it is they're like still putting out content for that game.
Oh my god.
So okay. Let's hit some Twitter questions. If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, you can tweet at myself or at Lord Fluffy. It's Lord__Fluffy or at ThaPChild. You can join our Discords. The links are in the YouTube video below. If you're watching live, you can type !Discord, !PChild and join those. The first question that we have, let's see, where did I put them? Here they are. The first question comes from Demonic Grizz. And he says, the best movie scene ever and why? Damn. There's a lot of movies, man.
I mean, I can think of a lot of great ones. I don't know that.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's one. Goddamn.
I can think of several that I really liked. So, like an example for me, and one of these is like the very, very first time I saw 8 Mile, Eminem destroys that dude at the end of in the rap battle. I thought that was fucking phenomenal and hilarious and unexpected. I can think of the scene in Gladiator where Russell Crowe finally gets his revenge at the end. It was super badass. Like, finally kills Joaquin Phoenix. I'm trying like fucking all of Matrix. I think Matrix was probably the movie that blew my mind the most at the time. Like I remember seeing Matrix and you had never seen fight scenes like that.
Yeah.
Like just the fight scenes, like where they would spin around
Sure.
It had never been done. And you're like, this is the coolest fucking movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just go forever on like awesome ass scenes, but
the ones that always come to mind, like I can think of some disappointing moments. Like I remember watching X-Men First Class, and when they were first kind of starting to tell the story of Magneto, I was like, oh man, like this is fucking good. Like when that whole beer scene where like it's in German and he like just like fucks those dudes up, and you're like, god damn, like they're building a proper villain here. And then the movie turned like too nerdy and like it was kind of a disappointment. But I remember like thinking that first like 25 minutes of the film, I was like, man, this is pretty fucking good.
You didn't like the rest of the movie?
No, I didn't. I think it turned like too X-Men-y, but like that's the point. There's a lot of scenes from Social Network, as a programmer that like the dialogue's super clever. It all meshes really well. Gosh, there's so many movies.
Most depressing scene, like Godfather, when they shoot Sonny up, you're like, oh my. You know what? Oh my God. Godfather's got so many. When Sonny whoops the shit out of his sister's husband who was like beating her up. Remember, we're like, I don't know if you've seen Godfather, but um her husband's like beating her with a belt and like whoops her ass, right? And then Sonny finds out and he goes and just fucks that dude up. And he's like kicking him up and down the street and he smashes a trash can lid on him and stuff. Like that was pretty rewarding to me too. I don't know, man. I can just go forever. There's so many great scenes.
Right.
I can't pick one.
Honestly, like one of my favorite scripted scenes of all time is season 1 of God, what's that fucking HBO show about the programmers? Silicon Valley.
Mm.
And they're talking about like the
I've only seen a couple episodes.
The DTF. Have you ever seen the DTF?
I don't think so.
Oh my fucking God. Like there's this it's just like 3 minutes long. It's just script and they like nerd out on like programming theory and like just dicks. And it's just like, it's so stupid, but at the same time, it's hilarious. Huh. Yeah, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. I haven't been, like, as soon as we get off here, you gotta watch it.
Okay.
Some of the best writing.
I can just go to Silicon Valley DTF.
D2F, yeah.
D2F. Okay.
Or DTF. D2F, DTF. One of those. Yeah.
DTF means something.
Yeah. It does.
Okay. Okay. Big Unit 20 says, what would you do if you found your good buddy or co-host was botting? Would you report them and get them banned?
Listen, I've already reported ThaPChild. I kind of upset you brought it up. I didn't want to do this on stream, but
I report Fluff on Twitch for view botting every day. Every single day.
There's 100 people in here. No one's talking.
Nobody's talking. No, in all reality, you know what, man? I've become a big softie now. I don't even give a fuck anymore. Like, Blizzard's not doing anything about it, and I don't feel like I should have to be the bot police for Blizzard. And I feel like I have been at times. Like, people would come and stream, and I'd be like, "Oh, you're botting, you're an asshole. I shouldn't do it." Blah blah blah. And kind of used to get pissed off. And now I'm like, listen, man, I play the game to have fun. If somebody's gonna cheat, it sucks for them that they want to cheat. But I can't sit here and enforce I can't do anything about it anyways. Why do I even get upset and care?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I mean, for me, it's like this kind of hits home because like my own brother in real life, like when he was very much into Diablo 3, like he was botting. And I'd always just be like, dude, like you're fucking idiots. Like stop. Like you're literally ruining the game. And it's like, I mean, that's the best I could do. Like going out of my way to like report them. Like I wouldn't even report because I don't have time to do that anyways. But
if it was like my brother or a really good friend, no, man, I'm not gonna get them banned.
Right.
Because like that's my homie. Like I'm gonna be like, you're fucking dumb. But but if it's somebody that I don't know that well, sure, yeah, fuck, I'm gonna hell of a report them. You know, like, but am I gonna sit there all day? Like, absolutely not. Right. Like I just enjoy your time, enjoy your life, enjoy, like don't get upset at like you can't get upset over it, man, because nothing's gonna change.
Right.
It hasn't changed in 6 years, nothing's gonna change next year. So just play the game, enjoy the game, love the game, and ignore people that bother you.
Right.
Hex says, besides video games, what was your favorite thing to do as kids? You didn't get to play video games as a kid, right? Your parents wouldn't let you or something?
As a very little kid, I wasn't able to play games. It wasn't until I like could afford a Super Nintendo myself. So I was probably like, I wasn't that late into it, but it was like probably 9 or 10 before I could play. But I always wanted to. Like that, my whole early childhood revolved around working hard and storing up enough money to like buy shit myself. So yeah, it was a huge part of my childhood, even though it was like highly discouraged in my household. Outside of that, I mean, we were just like, I grew up in a household where we just had to work hard. Like we had like a 1.5 acre garden, and we were out there in the garden every day. We had 5.5 acres to mow. We were constantly doing that like twice a week, and that would take like full days. So yeah, like all of my spare time as a child was like just doing free labor, basically.
I was I got a Nintendo when it released, which was 85, 86. I was like 4 or 5. So I've had video games since I was super tiny. But I used to I grew up in the country. I lived out on like a 50-acre plot, so it was huge. And then we mowed a good section of it. I don't remember now how much it was, but it was something like you. I mean, we had 3 riding lawnmowers, one of which was a tractor with a big ass brush hog, so
Yeah.
you could like really knock it
Right.
out the big parts fast. And it would still take us like 6 to 7 hours
Right.
to mow the yard,
All
right?
day. Right.
So yeah, so it was like a full day thing, with 3 of us doing it. So once a week, you'd spend your day cutting grass, like, and I did that all the way up until the time I was like fucking 18. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you just put headphones on and rocked out, you know what I mean? And find funky ways to cut the grass. Like I used to like do squares and then checkers, and then one day I started doing fucking spirals that would get bigger just to see what it would do to the, grass
Right.
shape. And yeah, it just, blow your mind how bored you get. But we used to go play out in the woods a lot, and
Yeah.
we had like I was into weapons as a kid. Like I had swords and bows and arrows and crossbows, and like I didn't like to hunt and kill animals. Like I'm
Yeah.
not like super PETA, but at the same time it was like gross to like kill something because then it's like bloody and nasty, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. But I loved to shoot things like trees and targets and toys and stuff. So my brother and I used to play ninja a lot. Like we both had like real, my parents were fucking crazy. They gave us real ninja swords. And so we would like go out in the woods and just go chop shit up, man. We go chop sticks, and I have scars on my hands from like where I was like holding a stick and I chopped through the stick and cut into my finger, and you know,
Nice.
lots of bad stuff. My parents didn't, they let me do a lot of things that I shouldn't have
Yeah.
done
It's
as a
so wild
kid.
to think like the shit that we did as kids and like the shit that would never go down
Never.
in the current state of things.
I literally shot my brother with a bow and arrow. I
What?
shot him. I shot him in the fucking hand.
What the hell's
Like,
wrong with you?
okay. So my mom and it wasn't like a compound bow that you would like, but it was like a shitty wooden drawstring, bow. And we had these fiberglass arrows. And if you've ever seen a fiberglass arrow, you can unscrew the tip out of a fiberglass arrow and
Okay.
it's just flat, like. And so my dad like took all the tips out, thinking that's fucking safe, right? Okay, cool. So we're sitting there shooting this target, and in the country, at least in the country where I grew up, you used to have these big propane tanks and like natural gas tanks, and they were huge, man. Like as a kid, they were taller than you were. So we
Right.
would like climb up on this tank, and we were standing on the tank, and we're shooting down at these targets. And my older brother goes through all of his arrows faster than me, and he's going to get his arrows. And I'm like, hold up, dude, I got 2 arrows left. And he's like, fuck you, I'm gonna get my arrows kind of deal. And I'm like, I'm shooting at the target. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna shoot you. And he's like, no, you're not. You're not gonna shoot me. And so he's reaching over, pulling his arrows out, and I shot at the target and I hit him fucking dead square in the hand. And
You evil son of a bitch.
yeah, dude, I told him to fucking move, man. I wasn't bluffing. And so the arrow hits him and bounces off his hand. It doesn't go through it, but it put a big ass fucking hole in it,
Yeah.
like a big chunk of skin was gone. And so he starts instantly like freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh fuck, I just shot him. Mom's gonna kill me. I wasn't trying to shoot him, by the way. I was just shooting the target. Luckily, I didn't like hit his face or eye, or I'm fucking probably 10. Who knows?
Right.
Aim's bad. So my mom comes running out because she hears us screaming, and she's like, "What happened? What happened?" And my brother's like, "He shot me," and holds his hand up. And my mom is like, "Eric, get over here now!" And I'm like, "Fuck that!" So I like threw my bow and arrows down, and I ran and climbed a tree. And I climbed to the fucking tippy top of this tree.
Smart.
And my mom's like, "Get down here." And I'm like, "Nope." I sat in this tree for like 5 hours, dude. She took my bow and like broke it and like broke all the arrows and was like so pissed off. And so I finally just couldn't stay up in this tree any longer. And I came down and she beat the shit out of me with one of the arrows. She like just whipped me like,
Yeah.
forever with the arrow. And,
This
that's
all
it.
goes
But my
back to
brother
Mugga Mama picked me as
always
Hawkeye.
believed me.
You are clearly Hawkeye.
Clearly. Yeah, definitely. My brother always knew I wasn't fucking around though. If I ever told him like I'm gonna do something, he's like, okay, he's gonna fuck me up. I'm gonna go ahead and move.
Damn.
He's gonna shoot me. I got more stories about him too. I'll save the other ones. I've done worse things to him. So.
Nice.
But yeah, that's I was just
Psychopath.
your normal country kid. I guess we
Sure.
did lots of
Sociopathic murder inclined.
Dirt Nap says, what's the first thing you notice about someone when you meet them for the first time?
Male, female?
Are you talking about dude abs?
That's a fair question. Gosh.
That is not a fair question. I would say just person. We'll say both, I guess, maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I guess if it's a female, are they attractive? That thought process just kind of goes through your head naturally, I think. You know?
Yeah.
I
think there's some natural things like, okay, hygiene is like something you probably notice immediately. Of course, if someone doesn't have it, it's like hard to ignore. I guess I like tend to notice like people's hair or like their teeth first.
Yeah. I think if I'm meeting somebody and we're having a conversation, I think a lot of times I let somebody talk to see if they're a talker or if they actually like have conversation. Because some people you can tell are already thinking about what they're going to say next while you're talking.
Right.
And that drives me fucking crazy. Yeah. And then I'm instantly tuned out and I don't really care about having a conversation with them or getting to know them better.
Right.
So I think they tell me a lot about how they talk and how they act instantly with, do they ever shut up?
Right.
Do they talk the whole time? Is what they're saying interesting? Right. Are they full of crap? Are they lying? Are they making shit up? Like, so.
Are they embezzle stories a bit? Do they find ways of like redirecting every conversation subject to be something about them? Yeah, it's really just like observing and seeing if there's any like weird social quirks. Totally.
Some people just have it too. Like some people naturally draw attention. You know what I mean? And you can usually tell those people too. Yeah. Like, hey,
I get it.
Oh, that guy's got it's the it factor. Yep. Do they have it factor?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yes or no? So
true.
But hygiene for sure, man. If somebody looks dirty or something, then I'm all instantly like, can we not hug? Can we just be like, yo, what up?
Yeah.
Like, are your teeth rotting out? Then I'm gonna stand next to you, so your breath is going this way, not directed at my face. That's it, man. That's all the questions we had this week. Easy mode. If you guys want to submit those questions, like I said, join our Discords. I go collect them probably 20 minutes before the podcast, so you have all week to think up something, drop it in there, or you can tweet at us and give us your question. It's always fun, man, to answer those.
Yeah.
And as always, I forget to announce it at the beginning. We have a Patreon. If you guys want to help support the New Meta podcast, you can find the link in YouTube. I don't know if there's a command live right now, but it's in the YouTube section on the podcast videos that Fluff throws up on his YouTube channel every week. You can click that, check it out. There's a bunch of different tiers. You can check out some of the cool things. I'm just briefly, you can come listen to the pre-podcast show. We were in the channel today. So if you guys are at the $10 tier, you can come hang out and listen to all the stuff we talk about before we go live, as well as, getting some special shout outs on the podcast and things like that. So check it out if you're interested.
Yeah.
You want to catch more of me? I'm ThaPChild, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, everywhere. You just search ThaPChild, you'll find me.
Hell yeah. Lord_Fluffy and double those underscores on the Twitter. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.